Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to explain the game I made using JavaScript. In JavaScript, firstly we have our background image, which is this one. Then our background image, we have the random function that we were provided in our homework, and it is useful for our enemies, for them to have a random x and y locations. Then we have the image one, which is the image of bad guys. In my game, bad guys are knives. And after that we have our game data, and game data contains hero, bad guys, game over, and score. And we take that our hero is game data.hero to make our code shorter. Then we give an image to our hero, which is this one. Then we have a check collide function, which I will talk about later. Then we have a create bad guys function, which is a function very similar to our first task in homework. And what this function does, it just creates bad guys, let's say, and with different random x and y locations. And then we have our object, which is an object which contains x, y, width, length, y delta, and x delta, which is the movement speed of our bad guys. Then we have our check collide function, which I'll talk about later. Then after that we have our draw function, which does basically what's happening in our game. And after that we have our update data function, which updates all the data. It is for our bad guys and for our hero to move. Then we have the last function, which is the loop function, which will do all these functions until it gets to game data.game over, which means our game is over. Then it will return and it will not do anything, so our code will stop. So let's talk about check collide function. Check collide function is a function which will check if the object 1 or object 2 collide. So it returns object 1 smaller than object 1 x smaller than object 2 x plus object 2 width, and object 1 x plus object 1 width is bigger than object 1 2 and object 1 y, and the same thing for y. And in our helper function, in our create bad guys function here, we have a condition that if object and hero don't collide, the game data will push object into this array, which is called bad guys, which we created here. And we will have bad guys in that array. Then we will call our function helper with n-1 until it gets to our termination point. If object and hero collide, then we will just call our function helper with n. Then in the end we will call our helper with the count, which is the input we gave to create bad guys. Then after that we have our set interval function, and set interval is like a command which will execute a function in given amount of time. So in this example we have that set interval function create bad guys, and it will create one more bad guy in 5000 milliseconds, and this 5000 is the amount of milliseconds, and 5000 milliseconds is 5 seconds. So in every 5 seconds another bad guy will be added. Then we will use the same thing for our score. So when a second passes, our score will be 1 will be added to our score. So from 0 it will get to 1 to 3 to 1 to 2, then to 3, and until we die. Then we create our for each function. This is the basic for each function in our JavaScript, but I just made it in recursion, and we use our for each in our draw function for game data bad guys and draw bad guys. So for each like objects in array bad guys, we will draw bad guys, and drawing bad guys is just basically drawing their image with their image they have, their x, y, and their width and height. So basically this is the game I made in JavaScript. So basically that's it.